Alright, so now let's go ahead and create the cart screen such that, for example, if I click on this product and if I hit add to cart, it has to take me to slash cart. Okay, and also when I click on this button. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. So inside screens, I'm going to create a file called cart screen.jsx. Alright, so let's create a component. Okay, let's for now just let's call it cart. Okay, so I just want to mount this component first and create a route for this. So let's go to a main.jsx or this one, and let's define a route for our cart route, and I'm going to give this a path of slash cart. Okay, and the element that will be mounting on is cart screen. Okay, so let's auto import that. All right, so now we are good. Okay, what's the problem? Okay, I need to close this. Okay, so that's done, and first let's go ahead and attach the event handlers on our product screen. All right, so where's that add to cart? Okay, so on click it goes to add to cart handler, and actually I had commented this in the last video so that we didn't have created this page yet, right? So we had to comment that out. Okay, so let's uncomment that out, and now let's go to our header. Okay, and let's search for the cart. Here it is. Okay, now let's okay, this is already linked to slash cart, and let's see for the mobile screen devices as well. Okay, so that's done. So now let's test it out. Okay, so if I click on add to cart, it takes me to the cart. Okay, so and also if I click on this, okay, it takes me to the cart screen. So that's done. Now let's go to a card screen and write our JSX. Okay, and again I'm going to paste in the JSX in order to avoid writing out the HTML CSS. Okay, so since it's not course about that, and I'll be explaining you however every single thing which it actually does. All right, for now I have just left this open. Okay, where I'll be listing out all the cart items in the form of a grid, where which will be in the like a box. Okay, so where every it shows us the every component with the image, with the description, the price and everything. Okay, so let's first of all bring our use selector. Okay, let's bring in our cart items from the state. So use selector, we have already done this from previous video. Okay, so it's not from here. Okay, from React Redux. All right, so now let's grab our cart items from the state. Okay, not here. Const cart items and set that equal to use selector. Okay, and this is coming from state. Okay, this is our entire state, and we want the cart. Okay, the cart slice state dot cart. All right, so that's done, and actually it's not uppercase use selector, so my bad. And now let's go ahead and loop through our cart items. Okay, so I'll just show you the UI, how does this everything work, and I'll go step by step what does this code actually do. All right, so let's open up our expression and let's write in cart items and loop through it dot map. Okay, so for every item, okay, and I'm going to return by using brackets, common brackets, and there I'm going to write a div. Okay, and give it a class name of border. Okay, and I'm going to give it a gray variant, border dash gray dash 300, and I'm going to give some padding of 4, okay, which is 16 pixels, and going to display it as a flexbox and items dash center. Okay, aligning items to the center. Okay, and also we need to give it a unique prop. Okay, so don't forget that, and call this key and pass in our that is item dot id, item dot underscore id. Okay, so So this is the unique thing within our cart items. All right, and within inside this div I am going to give the product image. Okay, so this is all, remember, in the flex box. Okay, so we are going to design according to that. So we have an image. Okay, and give it a source of um, item dot image. Okay, and the alternate will just give the item dot name. Okay, and we need to give this some class name. We need to style this. All right, we need to reduce the width. Okay, so width, giving it 16, and height 6, same. Okay, and object contain. Okay, so that how much of space it has. Okay, it will only accommodate according to that. Okay, so I'm going to give it a margin right of 16 pixels, that is MR4. All right, so now let's print out the item details. Okay, whatever we have. So below this comes the item name. So I'm going to give this an h3. Okay, and give it a class name. Okay, actually, I think we need to wrap this inside fragments. Okay, so we can only return one element. Okay, so we can't return multiple. Okay, so that's done. And within our h3, let's give it a class name. Okay, of text large, text lg. Okay, and font dash semi bold. Okay, so you can just hover on this and just get to know what property it actually gives us. Okay, so also there's an extension called tailwind intelligence. Okay, so it will give you the auto suggestions. Okay, like a drop down, so you can just leverage that. And I'm going to give it the title of the item. Okay, so item dot name. And next I'm going to give it the price. Okay, so using a paragraph, and class name of text gray dash 600. Okay, and next is and we are going to write in our value, that is item dot price. Okay, and I'm going to round this to two decimal places. You already know the drill. So that is dot to fixed, not fixed, to fixed. Okay, to two decimal places. All right, and I need to put in a dollar sign here so that we get to know the dollars. Okay, so this, all the prices are in dollars, right? So next is the button where we can if we want, we can delete the product already. So a button. Okay, and give this a text of remove. And also going to style it like class name, and going to give this a red variant. Okay, so if you want to delete any item, it has to be red, right? So red dash 500. Okay, and whenever we hover on this, we can give some texture like text dash red dash 700, just going to make it a little bold. Okay, and also I'm going to handle this. Okay, whenever we click on this, it has to call a function. Okay, so on click, and it has to call a function which we will be creating later, that is handle delete item. Okay, you can name this anything, of course. And yeah, that's done. So one small mistake, everything has to come within this div. Okay, so within this div, and we don't even need this fragment, so let's get rid of that. And yeah, we are good. And now this another comes is the price. Okay, so we have just left it as it is. We are going to interpolate those values as well. So now let's go and have a look at what does this actually give. Okay, so everything is defined fine. And yeah, let's go to a card screen, and let's define that handle delete item, because going to complain. Okay, so it doesn't know, right, what we are actually doing and what is in our head. So we have to handle everything according to JavaScript. So handle delete item, and set this to a function. Okay, let's leave it blank. Okay, so that we have something. Now let's have a look. Yeah, there we go, everything's nice, but the indentation is not that good, so something is wrong. So let's have a look. So actually this has to be in another div. Okay, and let's close it right below this button, so we can just duplicate this. Okay, so that's done. Let's have a look. Yeah, now it's looking a bit good. Okay, and this doesn't do anything for the moment. Okay, we'll be handling that later. And everything is I know it's not the best UI, but something we have to work with, right? Now for this subtotal, let's put in the values that we need to get from the state. So along with cart items, we also need to get in the total price and also the shipping price, okay, and also the tax price, okay. So we can get the tax price, the shipping price, okay, and the total price. Okay, so let's go ahead and put those values into this box. Okay, so let's also the total items. Okay, that is what is that? That is the cart items dot length. Okay, and also the and also let's duplicate this. I guess I didn't use that for tax price and shipping price, so let's call this tax price. Okay, let's call it tax, and shipping price. Okay, and that is coming from this variable, that is tax price, and this one shipping price. All right, and the total price. Okay, all right, so that's done. Now let's have a look. Okay, so everything okay, so we are not getting the shipping price for some reason. Let's have a look. Okay, so this is a small s, not capital. So okay, okay, so since we have a total of like more than $100, right? So we do not have any shipping price. Okay, so let's add a dollar sign behind in front of this. All right, okay, so that looks good. Okay, not that good. I know. Okay, so let's go ahead and handle this proceed to checkout. Okay, so we have this button here, and let's give it on click handler. Okay, and call this checkout handler. Okay, so let's define this function checkout handler, and let's navigate to the okay that we are going to bring in from React Rotterdam, not navigate but use navigate. Okay, and first of all we need to initialize that const navigate equals use navigate, and we need to navigate this to the proceed to checkout page. All right, so navigate to slash checkout. Okay, so that's done, and let's have a look. Okay, so proceed to checkout. We haven't built this page yet. Okay, and also I want this button to be disabled when we do not have any items in the cart. Okay, so we do not want anyone to proceed without having any items in the cart. So I'm going to set this disabled equal to, and set that to cart items dot length if that is equal to 0. Okay, so this will return a true or false value. So if this thing is true, then it is that means that there is no items in the uh, cart, so you cannot proceed to checkout. Okay, so let's clear our state. So for this you need to do it manually until we create a handler for that as well. So these are all from the previous errors. Okay, so let's clear this and refresh. Okay, now we do not have any items in the cart. Okay, so we cannot check out. Okay, so this button is now disabled. Okay, so that's done. So one more thing is I want to display the quantity here. So how much of what product we have chosen. Okay, so let's again duplicate this. Okay, and let's call this quantity. Okay, not here actually. Let's do it here. Okay, so we have this paragraph. Okay, let's duplicate this and let's call this quantity. All right, here, and set that equal to item dot qty. All right, so let's check that. Okay, so good, that's nice. And yeah, everything is good. Now let's go ahead and have a look at the styling. So what classes have been applied. Okay, so when we have when we are on medium screens and above, that is for laptop screens and tablets, we want to appear this in two columns. Okay, so if I shrink this to mobile screen, you see it stacks upon each other. Okay, and I know this doesn't look good. I need to increase the width a little bit. So yeah, so that's the class that's been applied. And for medium screens it uses the two-third width. Okay, so you can just see this is consisting of two-third of the width, and the rest is for this subtotal. All right, and then we have this padding as usually, and we are displaying this in the form of grid. Okay, so if there are like for mobile screen devices it will only use one column as we saw, and if we are in medium screen devices, that is on laptop screens, we use two columns. Okay, and we have a gap of 4. Okay, that is 16 pixel. Okay, so as simple as that, you can just go ahead and hover on this and you can get to know every single property which you want to use. Okay, so that's done. And next is the for the image, we are giving it width and height, so it is very intuitive as you see. And this is everything done. And yeah, so next is the box. Okay, I'm going to give this background of gray, which is a 100. Okay, so you can just see what the properties been applying, and it has a width of 1/3. Okay, the 2/3 is for the number of items in the cart. Okay, so the all the cart items display. And yeah, everything is as usual. Okay, and everything is good. And we have this all everything I've explained in the previous video of all these classes. Okay, so I guess that's clear. And if anything you don't understand, you can just let me know in the comments. I'll just try to answer them. All right. And one more thing, guys, I want to add in the items price. Okay, along with the total items. All right, so items price without the tax. Okay, so that is coming from the items price. Okay, so actually we didn't bring it, so let's bring that as well. Okay, and also this quantity, right? This is actually not cart items dot length, but I want to get the total quantity of all the items that we add in our cart. Okay, along we want to get the sum of the quantity of all the products that we add to our cart. Okay, so let's create a variable called quantity. Okay, and set that equal to, and set that to cart items dot reduce. Okay, so we are calculating for every um, product quantity. Okay, so it takes in the accumulator as well as the item. So first parameter is accumulator, so then the item, then we are going to return accumulator plus the item dot quantity. All right, and remember this has to be this is in the form of string, so we need to convert this to a number, and the initial value of the accumulator will be 0. Okay, so that's done. And let's call this total items. Okay, and let's add in that here. Where's that? Okay, so let's have a look. Okay, so we have three items, that is 2 plus 1. Okay, so everything is working good. We have the items price as well. If you add in the tax price, it will give you the total price. Okay, also the shipping price if there is any. Now let's go ahead and create this handler such that when we click on this, it should remove this item from our state. Okay, and it should only display those items which are in our shopping cart. Okay, and let's make this button work. So now let's come here and let's create a reducer for that. So let's go to our cart slice, and just below this add to cart, I am going to add reducer to remove from cart. Okay, remove from cart. Okay, and set that equal to state action. Okay, which is a function, and here I want to get the id. Okay, so this id will come from the action.payload, whatever we pass in our like add, like remove from cart handler. All right, so let's call this id and get that from our payload. All right, so now we need to filter out those items in our state such which id matches this which you are getting from the payload. All right, so now let's go ahead and filter that out. So since we are using immer, we can directly mutate the state like this. So state dot cart items dot filter, which is a higher order javascript method. All right, filter, and for every item. Okay, so the item dot underscore id, whatever the item which we are looping through in our cart items. All right, so that if that does not equal to the id that we are getting from our payload, okay, so it will go ahead and filter those out. Okay, as simple as that. And finally we need to update our state, so let's return from this function by updating the cart. Okay, so very simple, as nothing fancy. All right, so we are just filtering out those items that come from this id. Okay, so this is the condition. So if this condition is true, okay, okay, if this condition is false, and then it will go ahead and like remove that item which we are getting from the payload. All right, let's go to a cart screen and bring in. Okay, first of all we need to export this, remove from cart. Okay, so in our cart slice, let's import remove from cart. All right, so now let's get the id. Okay, whichever id we are getting it from the item delete. Okay, so it's over here, that is handle delete item, and we need to pass in the item dot underscore id. Okay, and remember this needs to be whenever we are invoking it, so it will call it immediately. So in order to prevent that, and only when we want, when we click on it, this function should run. All right, so let's dispatch that. So first of all let's bring in use dispatch, so from react redux. Okay, so let's initialize it. All right, so now let's dispatch, that is remove from cart, and we are going to pass in the id. All right, so that's done, and this id will be getting it from the action dot payload. Okay, as simple as that. So let's test it out. Let's go here and click on this. Okay, so okay, so it says can't read properties of undefined, that is cart items. Okay, so let's have a look. Okay, one small mistake. I need to pass in the state. Okay, so we are not passing anything. Okay, so that's why we are getting undefined. So now let's have a look. Let's remove this. Yes, there we go. We have successfully removed the product. Okay, I don't know why this is opening. So let's go to our redux devtools and have a look here. Okay, so you can just see it has called this remove from cart, and you see our cart item which was 2 now has just one cart item. If you just remove this as well, so it will clear all the items. Okay, now I just want to display a message like your cart is empty if we do not have any cart items. All right, so now let's go and do that. Let's go to a cart screen and put a condition over here. All right, so I do not want to display this unless we have some items in our cart. Okay, so let's open up our expression. We can just collapse this if this is too annoying. So we can just say cart items dot length. If that is not equal to 0, okay, only then go ahead and do this. Okay, so I'm going to use double ampersand, which means that if this is true, then this will be rendered out. Okay, so that's done, and let's have a look. Okay, not this, actually we need to use a ternary. Okay, so if that is true, then do this, then we are going else we are going to display a paragraph. Okay, then give it a class name of what is that, text dash gray, that is 400, and I'm going to enlarge it text.xl. Okay, and giving it a text of your cart is empty. All right, so let's have a look. Okay, so it says your cart is empty, and if I add some items, okay, so we do not have the message any longer. All right, so that's done. Now let's do the same for this. All right, so I'm just going to copy this and going to paste it over here. Okay, so we only want to display this if there are only any cart items, and this has to be double ampersand. Okay, so if you are only just checking the condition once, we do not want the else statement, right? So this is a short form of doing that. All right, so let's have a look. Let's remove this. Okay, good. All right, now let's go to the most interesting part, that is like authentication. Okay, like signing in and signing out. So we'll be spending some time in the backend. Okay, so we'll be dealing with JSON tokens, and also dealing with all sorts of authentication and authorization. All right, so we'll be doing that next. Okay, so it's going to be very interesting, so please stay tuned.